I'm trying to build the coolest drift car transport truck in the whole of the UK, but there's been a few problems. So I'll show you a few of the things to start with. So one of the first problems is there's nowhere to store my tools, my tyres, anything that I might need for the drift day. So I need to make some boxes. High to the ground, about 1.6 metres, way too high for any sort of drift car. So the plan is, and it's quite a long plan, we need to find something to come out, because I can't lift or move 20-metre ramps. And this brings me on to our next problem. The LeyLand Daff T244 is about 2.55 metres wide. Because of that, it means it's quite a wide-looking truck. However, the hydraulic ramp bed is from an Isuzu 7.5 tonne, which is very small, very narrow. So I have to make this bed fit this truck. It's a really big problem because if you look down the side of the truck, we need to make it wider. This bed just isn't wide enough. So it needs to come out at least 80mm. But this width, it needs to come out, and I need to make a body that's wider. And that also ties in to the back. Because how am I going to get a ramp long enough to fit? My plan is, I'm going to try my best at least, to make a sliding tilt deck to come out of the back. The truck already lifts up, so we can put mine or Dom's car on top, and then another car underneath. Then we have to seem to try and make the tilt deck come out of here with some ramps or some type of wind down jockey to then put the ramp on again. So we'll have like a staggered lift up. These are the things you have to do if you want to get a decent truck. So that brings me on to fabrication. Our next problem is ramp space. How to make the hydraulic ramp fit? We have these mud guards, which need to be moved out as they don't fit. We need to make some brackets and mounts to secure the body to the bed. Now the problem with 4x4 trucks is they twist, they have torsion. And because of the torsion, it means when you're going all terrain, the body has to twist with it. However, we're not taking drift cars all terrain, all off-roading, but it could be a possibility at some point, taking them somewhere which may be uneven ground. So we need to make sure that there's enough twist and torsion in the body to make that work. It's difficult. Which brings me on to my sixth problem, the winch and the PTO. These are both 24-volt powered, and they're powered off the battery. However, the wiring has seen better days, and I'm not sure if either of them even work. So I need to first wire in an isolator switch, connect them to the battery, and then try them. Fingers crossed they work, but if they don't, they're not too hard to swap, change, or replace. So this is just a final look around the truck before work commences. As you can see, I've got quite a bit of steel on the back there. And this is just how it looks before we start. It's obviously got some presence. It's a very big, tough military truck. And it's soon to be the coolest drift transporter in the UK. So here you can see me using an angle finder. I'm trying my best to get the angle that I need. I'm measuring it up for the angle that I need for the edge, so that I can try and figure out what angle it needs to be on. Here I'm using a piece of wood to mimic the steel. Right. We're making some progress. I've started to weld the first extension pieces to the side of the bed, ready for the main length to go along. I had a bit of difficulty. The welder's welding okay, but we're running on dregs for the gas, so I need to go refill the gas. But we are making some progress, so we are solving a problem. That is the current welding setup, getting all the dregs. And then we have the first pieces that will go along. And then our next will run like that. So as you can see, it's now in line with the wheel, which is perfect. We tied it in on the end with some flat bar, and there will just be some plate over the top. So this side, as you can see, this is what it used to look like. And we've just tacked this one on. This is awful. So it's awful to weld to. This here, I've cleaned it and cleaned it again. Don't know whether or not it's because it's galvanized, but it's awful to weld to. So we're going to try again tomorrow with less wind and new gas ball. Tonight we took out the valve and everything's corroded, but it's snapped and there was no power. So we tried bridging the switch and direct feed to power and negative. There was absolutely nothing at all. So not even any clicking of the solenoid. Everything's rusty, everything's seized. I think it's a better idea if we get a new one. Dom knows hydraulics. It's what he does every day. He reckons we put a new power pack on, new lines, and the rams should work. We just have to make some pins. But overall, pretty happy with today's progress. Don't have as many videos as we were just trying to get some stuff done. And I'm welding in the street, I'm cutting in the street. People are pissed off, the neighbours are pissed off, people around me keep getting involved, keep getting stopped and questions asked by lots of people. So I'm chatting away for 10 or 15 minutes, which is really frustrating because people are just, they're interested and that's great and the truck's interesting, but it stops me from getting work done. So, and I like to talk, so I can talk for ages and I need to focus on getting the truck finished. So it'll never be done otherwise. So yeah, so thinking for the next episode, the widening of the body will be completed. There'll be a new power pack. Mud guards will be done. The checker plate will be done along the top. And we'll focus then on some storage lockers and putting a spare wheel together as they're a split rim and they need doing. So other than that, I think that's about it for today's episode. If you've got this far in the video, I would really appreciate if you could just like, follow, subscribe, comment, do whatever you need to do. Even if it's just something you don't like or hate, just comment it because commenting gets more people to see the video. Still a very small YouTuber and I appreciate everybody that's subscribed so far. So thank you.